Hello and welcome. My name is Riddhodev Bandyopadhyay, and today we have the wonderful Miss Modhura Palit, who is an eminent cinematographer and the person behind films like Kacher Manush and Kishmish. Ma'am, my first question to you is that it has been over 100 years to get a female cinematography Oscar nominee, and till date there has been no winner. So you can see the climate is very much male dominated. So in that climate, that too in Bengal and India, like how has been your journey and what has been your journey basically?
Okay, so as you said, it's been 100 years and we still have just one female cinematographer nomination in Oscars. And that quite speaks a lot about where we are actually. But my personal journey has been actually fantastic. It's a very weird space to be in. It's male dominated. It's said to be male dominated, but actually there's a lot of women actually working. Okay, but it so happens that they're never spoken about. They're not in the spotlight. But there are two things about it. Though you want these female technicians to be known and spoken about, that there are certain amount of films. So I am part of this group called IWCC, Indian Women's Cinematographers Collective. We're a pan-Indian group of female cinematographers working in India. The amazing part is when we started out this group, we realized there are already more than 100 women DPs working in India itself. And then when we kind of bridged out, we found a lot of other people. But the point is that when we say that you want to talk about women technicians in the industry, it doesn't only mean cinematographers like sound designers, editors, ADs, costumes, set designers, whoever, all female technicians working in the industry want to talk about it. But at the same time, you don't want to talk about it because the problem is this male dominated thing is because a certain job has been gendered. You have assigned a certain masculinity or a certain gender to a job, and that is why all of us working sounds very weird to everybody, or it is something out of the way. But the problem is it shouldn't be like that. We are very happy that Reid Morano actually got that nomination, but that is only a point where you want to say that for future DPs that women are working and you can do that too. But the main problem is, or the main point is, that the psyche of humanity as such, or people who are looking at cinema as such, should change. And we shouldn't be talking about female DPs in a separate context. But yes, it's a very dynamic space to be in because we are it's a two-way coin. We are trying to ungender the space, yet we are fighting out that genderization of things, and we are trying to get our voices heard. We are trying to make a representation of women technicians in the industry, of what are the pros and what are the cons, what are the basic needs of female technicians working, the pay parity and everything is we are fighting about. But amazingly, the whole fight is about to say that this job shouldn't have a gender. It's not a sir or a ma'am job. It's just a job. Like doctor is a neutral gender, engineer is a neutral gender, cinematographer should be a neutral gender too. The idea of a cameraman, the terminology is problematic. The moment you're saying cameraman, you're already saying a job has to be done by a man. It should be a camera person. Better is don't say it, just say cinematographer. But yes, it is a very dynamic space to be in. It is a very difficult space to be in. It is a very political space to be in, and by that I mean gender politics. There's a lot of gender politics involved in it. But all of us, all the technicians working in this place, also in Bengal, I happen to be one of the most prominent female technicians working in Bengal in cinematography. There are a lot of other women cinematographers too working in Bengal, but there's just not into the foreground, or we are not talking about it. But there are a lot of other people also. We have a lot of technicians in Bengal also working in the film industry. But yes, all of them don't come into the prominence to talk about. So it also becomes the onus on the ones who have had the opportunity to come in front and talk about it, to harp about our community a lot more, to talk about our genderization and our representation a lot more, so that the voice is heard. And more than anything else, it helps girls and females who are wishing to get into the film industry in any way whatsoever to believe that there is a clan already, and if I be a part, I'm not going to be an alien. So talking about gender representation is not for now, it is for the future of cinema, where we want more women to come in and work, and it should look like a safe space, a space where it is very okay for women to work in, it is very normal place for women to work in.
Thank you, ma'am. And another question which I would like to ask you is that, like, how much of your vision actually gets into the final film in comparison with the director, or how much you have to cater to the like director's need, like those kind of things, that artistic aspect and that kind of collaborative, and there can be clashes, like those kind of things. Like, how do you manage that, or what happens?
See, clashes with the director is the most normal thing in the planet. Okay, if you're not clashing with the director, that means the film is not going in the right way. You have to clash with the director, and that's absolutely okay, and that's absolutely fine. But yes, our jobs as technicians is what? That primarily we have to translate to the director's vision on screen, and in the process of doing so, try to transcend it. Okay, but my main point is to see the film that is playing in the director's head and try to make it be absolutely correct, or the way it should be, of how he is looking at into the screen. But while we are doing that, obviously I have to follow or understand his looks, his vision, his or her vision of everything, and translate that. But in the process of doing that, I also have to put in my expertise, my vision, my artistic expression. Because see, we are film technicians, we are artists, and we are like craftsmen actually. We do the work with our own chips and hammers, and in the process of doing that, we are creating art. Okay, so when you're translating somebody else's vision on screen, in the process you have to put somewhat of yourself in it. Only then it becomes a collaborative project, or only then a certain narrative finds its structure. Because the director will have that, obviously, when you're saying something like a Ridley Scott look, or a Wonka Wai thing, or a Wes Anderson look, you're understanding that is the major or the dominant vision of the director that you're looking at. But to execute that, there has to be somebody else's expertise also coming in. And when you're talking about expertise, just not that the person will tell me that, you place the camera here and I'll just place it there. It also my discretion of what lens to use on. If I just move the camera maybe 30-degree here and there, it will make a lot of difference. So these creative calls I have to take. And so it's a collaborative process always. It is, I think, majorly looking at what the director's point of view is, what the vision is, and then adding your own skill set, expertise, your own artistic vision, and creating the overall whole of it. And that is just not me, that every other technician does, but mine maybe because it's visual, it is the first thing that people kind of get to notice is just there. But yes, if you cannot have that dialogue, and that by dialogue I mean an artistic dialogue, there cannot be a work of art that will sustain for the longest time.
Thank you, ma'am. And this is the final question. That will you like to say anything about the current projects you are working on, or the future releases? Anything?
Current projects, I am doing a few web series and films which are all in the pipeline. We still haven't gone into shoot. The shoot is about to commence. I am in the prep of a feature film, and my film Amar Colony, which got the best special jury mention at Tallinn Film Festival and all of that. That is doing a beautiful festival run. So I'm very happy. Sorry, I cannot divulge the names of the projects to you, but yes, there's a lot of in line. Hopefully, when it will come out, you'll notice it, and you'll let me know if you liked it or not, if you like my work or not. I'm trying to do something different in all of it, so that as an audience, everybody feels excited to see the visuals. That is my particular target with all of these projects. But there's some in line, all of them interesting. So I am looking forward to it, and hopefully, you'll like it all when it comes out.
Thank you, ma'am.